everyone, I purchased this wreath at the 99-cent store. It came with some really cheap flowers, so I decided to chop them off and do a DIY for you guys. As for the wreath, if you can't buy it pre-made, you can actually do it yourself. All you have to do for the ears is just chop them up to your liking. As for these eggs, I bought a pack that came with these 3 colors, and they come in minis and big. I also got these at the 99. So what you want to do is get a cup or something circular so you can outline how big you want your flower to be. I use this cup. Once you've decided how big you want your flower to be, you can start by cutting out circles by tracing the cup so you can make your flower outline. Or you can cut them in squares and do your flower outline beforehand and then just trace them over and cut them out. A dot of glue in the center and fold it in half. Hold it in place for a couple seconds for the glue to dry and remove any excess glue. And then we're going to apply another dot of glue in the center and fold it again, but press it on firmly so it can dry. If not, the flower will open while you're doing your other petals. You will be using 12 petals and a circular base for this flower. The circle should be around the same size, if not smaller, than the petals. So this way 4 of them fit, and you will place them all going the same direction where the fold is. The fold should be facing the same direction when you glue them down. So this way they have more of a order. Right here, we are going to start adding the second layer of petals, and we are going to be gluing in the same direction, except not stacked up on top of each other, but in the line, as you guys can see in here. Here we are moving on to the third layer of petals, and we are doing everything the same way as we did in the previous layer. The fold going in the same direction and putting the petals on the line of the previous petals. When done with all the layer of petals, which are 3, you want to fluff them up together and glue them in the center. Right here you can use a template to see how big you want your flowers. You can do the circle first and then do flower shape and cut them out. I personally just wing them. I cut out perfect squares and then I make them into flowers. Here I show you guys how you can create perfect squares, bringing them into triangles and cutting them out that way. Here I will be using 3 of the darker purple squares and 3 of the lavender color. You can choose to outline your rose petals till you reach the center, or you could just swing it like I did and cut the rose petals in a circular way till you reach the center of the felt. You want to start by making big rose petals first and then smaller and smaller as you go in, so that way it kind of has a gradient effect. Right here we're going to start wrapping the rose petals around, and we are going to start by the smallest ones and working our way to the large ones. As we go around, you can add a dot of glue here and there so it could be more secure and they won't be wobbling around. As you reach the end of the rose, you can add like a line of glue to the last petal so that way it's more secure. So what are you doing, sweetie?
For Easter we can take this one for Easter can hide the eggs. Yes.
And you're helping me?
Yeah.
Are you being extra careful with the scissors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
In here I decided that I wanted to change some of the eggs since the ones that came with the wreath were kind of damaged. So I added pink and yellow, and the wreath came with a little like lilac purple. You want to play a little bit with the flowers before you actually glue them down, but since I already had in mind I wanted to do a dark light pattern, I just went ahead and glued them down. Here I actually cut the burlap bow because it was a little too long, and I am reusing the pieces that I had cut out to do a center since I didn't like that wire around it. You want to fluff out your roses and get any edges that are sticking out or the bottoms that are actually showing too that are noticeable. And at this point you are basically done with your DIY Easter bunny wreath.